So we're starting this week with a bang, as always, with one of our larger muscle groups, legs. And we're gonna start the week with an extra special bang because we're hitting a unique exercise that you haven't done before, and that's called the single-legged box squats. So you can use a box, you can use a chair, you can use a step, whatever it is that you have available to you. I need it to be high enough for your leg to be at a right angle when you do step up. To begin with, you may not want any dumbbells. You may just want to get your balance intact first, but I'm going to demonstrate with some dumbbells. So I've got a chair here, I've got a couple of dumbbells, and then what I'm going to do is stand on the box or the chair. I'm going to come up and then slowly work that negative on the way back down. And then in this case, I'm going to alternate and come up with the opposing side, keeping my back straight. Your upper body should not lean forward when you're performing this movement. That will target the quads a little bit more. I want you to stay upright to target your glutes and your hamstrings. So keep your core tight, drive through your heels when performing this movement, and control the negative on the way back down. Now that our legs are warmed up, we're going to obliterate our quads. Remember, the quads are the front of the thighs here. The goblet squat is a phenomenal movement to really target this area. So you're gonna hold that dumbbell underneath the top portion, bring it underneath your chin against your chest, feet about shoulder width distance apart, knees following the direction of your toes as you go down, hamstrings parallel to the floor, and then back up. You can pause at the bottom, but no pausing or locking out at the top. Breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way back up. If it feels a little bit light and you end up doing like 20 or 25 repetitions to begin with, you know that you can go heavier on the second and third sets. I'm out of breath here, and I'm sure you are too, but I want you to keep the intensity there by going straight on to the next movement, which is called the Bulgarian split squat. Now, you'll need a bench for this or somewhere to elevate your supporting leg. So you're gonna be working one leg at a time again, so it's like a unilateral movement. You're gonna have your legs supported behind. How far? I'll tell you how far. When you go down, your front leg should be at a right angle. Shouldn't be any closer, shouldn't be any further. So your calf and hamstring should be at a right angle when you get to the bottom. So you're gonna support your leg there. You can put your hands on your hips or across the chest, whatever's most comfortable. You're gonna come down and then back up. Down and then back up. So I can see my foot needs to go out a little bit further. There. Come down and drive through your heels on the way up. There, and if you're gonna pause anywhere, you can pause at the bottom, not at the top. This will really target your hamstrings. It'll get a little bit of your glutes and a little bit of your quads as well. You'll definitely feel it throughout your quads and your hamstrings as your primary movers. Breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way back down. And then once you've done one side, you move on to the other side. Once you've done that, that will count as one set. Remember, 15 to 20 repetitions is where you need to find absolute failure. Now we're going to isolate the hamstrings with a single leg glute bridge. You can do this on the floor. We've done it on the floor in the past, but I think they're good enough now to advance yourself to a bench. It will make it harder, but we have to keep taking ourselves outside of our comfort zones in order to evolve. So if you've got a bench, a chair, seat, step, something like that, please do lie down on the floor next to it. So I've got my legs in rather close there. I'm going to put my working leg on the bench like so, and my supporting leg straight up in the air. So just like if you were to do it on the floor, you're just slightly elevated now. And then you're gonna lift up and then come back down under control. Up and down under control. Drive up, squeeze as hard as you can, focus on your glutes, focus on your hamstrings, and slowly down. And once you've done one side, obviously, you move on to the other. So now we're moving on to our next exercise, which is a single-legged banded hamstring curl. But this is a tough workout. We're working almost half of our body in one session here. So this is thirsty work. So I suggest that you get a drink because I'm pretty thirsty myself. All right, so we're now moving on to the single-legged banded hamstring curl. You're gonna put your leg into the band that is supported. I've got mine supported on a bench here. Now this is gonna target your hamstrings, obviously. So your knees need to be tight together. There should be tension on that resistance band before you even start. You can hold on to something for balance, but if you can stand and balance, that's absolutely fine as well. I've got my hands on my hip here, another one out for balance. I'm gonna come up and then back down. Full stretch at the bottom. You can touch the back of the hamstring if you want to give you a better mind-muscle connection so you can feel where you should be targeting. Breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down, no upper body movement. Once you've done one side, you can step in and do the same on the other side for the required amount of reps. There and back down, which is 12 to 15 repetitions for 4 sets. Now we're moving on to another unique exercise that you haven't done before, and that is the single-legged seated calf press. And we're gonna do one leg at a time so you can really focus on that muscle group being worked so you can get what's called a mind-muscle connection, which will allow you to develop your calves that much better. So I want you sitting down with your legs at a right angle, and you're gonna put a dumbbell on the end of one of those legs, your working leg, for extra resistance. Then what you're gonna do is come up as high as you possibly can on the balls of your feet, squeeze and contract for a second, and then slowly come back down. And then up, and then controlled on the way back down. One of the common mistakes I see when people perform in this exercise is that they bounce. When they bounce, the thickest tendon in the body, which is the Achilles tendon that runs on the back of the ankle there, takes over and takes all the stress away from the muscles. We want all the stress on the muscle, so it's essential that we go down nice and slow on this movement. You can push up hard, but control that negative and keep your upper body straight. Breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down. And once you've done one side, you'll move on to the other to do another set, which will complete one set. You've got 20 to 25 repetitions to reach absolute failure here for 5 sets in total. Now you did a phenomenal job today, and I want a phenomenal job out of you tomorrow.